In 1937, J.R.R. Tolkien published a children's fantasy book called The Hobbit. The book got a lot of praise, so much praise that J.R.R. Tolkien published another book in 1954 called The Fellowship of the Ring. This took place in the same fictional world as The Hobbit, but focused on Bilbo's adopted heir Frodo. The Fellowship of the Ring also got a lot more critical acclaim and a growing fan base. The fan base and critical acclaim for The Lord of the Rings continued until about 67 years later. The Lord of the Rings is one of the most known fan bases in the world. But how did it get so big? And why is there so much passion for this series? That's what I'm hoping to find out in this documentary. J.R.R. Tolkien wrote all the characters. He came up with all the characters. So many characters, in fact, they had to cut out most of the characters in the film, like Tom Bombadil, despite being a fan favourite in the books. The fandom for these books became so big that it was adapted into a movie trilogy by Peter Jackson, which the fandom praised for its smart writing and its amazing special effects. The trilogy was so popular that Peter Jackson remade the original book, The Hobbit, and made it into a trilogy, which defied the fan base because The Hobbit wasn't nearly as big or as complex as The Lord of the Rings. However, a lot of people in the fan base liked The Hobbit because, like the original Lord of the Rings, it had amazing battle scenes. The overall story of The Lord of the Rings is that an old hobbit named Bilbo Baggins has an evil ring, and his adoptive heir, Frodo, goes on a journey with his friend Sam to destroy it. But the ring can only be destroyed in Mount Doom, and the rings give you powers and control people to the point that the person holding the ring is killing those around him to protect the ring. So in order to not get killed on their quest, they are led around by a wizard named Gandalf. The story is far more complex than this, with unique characters and intense battles. Fans of The Lord of the Rings call themselves ringers. This is because of The Lord of the Rings is most known for the ring which Frodo must destroy. In my opinion, the reason why people like The Lord of the Rings so much is because of how big and interesting the story and the characters are. The characters are not just one note. For example, Bilbo Baggins. His personality traits are that he is intelligent, independent, loyal, and clever. Another character that is diverse is his adoptive heir, Frodo. He has a big imagination and often daydreams about life and its possibilities. Or Gandalf, who is wise but also stubborn and never gives up on his ambitions, and this is shown throughout The Lord of the Rings as he helps Frodo and Sam on their quest to destroy the ring at Mount Doom. Fans of The Lord of the Rings show their appreciation for the franchise by buying merchandise, for example mugs, board games, and even jumpers. Not only does this help fans show their appreciation for the franchise, but it also helps the franchises behind Lord of the Rings to make merchandise earn a profit. There is also Comic-Con and conventions for Lord of the Rings, including the Comic-Con in Lyon, France, the Sci-Fi Valley Con in Pennsylvania, which is a multivalent but includes Lord of the Rings fans, and the Budapest Comic-Con. Cosplaying is also a popular way that Lord of the Rings fans show their appreciation for the fandom. Fans will dress up as different and unique characters. Sauron, Frodo, and Legolas are very popular examples of popular cosplay characters from Lord of the Rings. In this documentary, I have covered how the fanbase views characters and how passionately the fanbase is for Lord of the Rings, because the story is long but very intriguing and the characters are so interesting and complex. I've also learned about the fan culture and how the fandom shows their appreciation for the Lord of the Rings. I have also shown the story of the Lord of the Rings and the history of the Lord of the Rings. And I've talked about the characters in Lord of the Rings, including their personality traits and how the fan base views the characters. Hopefully this will give you a better understanding on how the Lord of the Rings fan base is.